See. I give it just a couple seconds and we will get started to let some more come in. Hope everybody's staying warm. I'm in Austin right now and it's cold, although I think it's supposed to get a little bit warmer today. Everybody's getting this Arctic blast. I think I'm going to go ahead and get started. This won't take an hour today. We're gonna run through. Well, first of all, hello, I'm Jill Noble, and I am your Regional Sales Director for the Southwest area. And today we are going to talk about group travel. I'm just going to go give you an overview of group travel, and then we are also going to talk about ExpressBook, specifically our QuickBooks, quick quote, how to go through and make a quick quote. And I have with me on the call today, Ian Clough. Hi, Ian.
Hi
He
everyone.
is our inside account executive, and he knows ExpressBook inside and out. So he's going to do that portion of the training. Let me close this extra screen. And with that, I am going to get started. If I can get on the right page. There we go. Okay, hello. So here we are. What is a group? So we're going to talk about, I just want to give you some ideas of groups because I don't know how many groups you all are selling. If you're new to groups, if you're a seasoned group creator, but just some ideas for groups. Think about interest groups. So people that have the same interests, they like to travel together. So if you have history buffs, which by the way would be perfect for river cruise groups, because as you know, there's so much history over in Europe. That's a great idea for a group. You also have birthday groups, anniversary groups. Think about clubs in your area that might have a mailing list, for example, wine bars or wineries. Sometimes they have wine clubs, which means they have a built-in database and they have an interest as well. So they're very easy to market to. And then you can offer that TC credit to the owner of the restaurant or the bar or the winery. The same with jazzercise or Zumba groups. They like to travel together. And with our groups, we can also set up, if they need special areas, we can look into doing that. If they want to do their workout up on deck together, we can do that. So I know exercise groups, yoga groups, those types of groups are great. And like I said, the TC credit going to that group leader, that's a huge benefit for them. And that's what's going to make them interested in helping you promote this group too, is that free cruise. So that's just some ideas. Hopefully that'll give you some to get started with. But once you found your group, I want to tell you some of the benefits of having the group and kind of how they work. So ours, I think we have one of the most simple group programs out there. Very easy, 5 staterooms to start for most of our sailings. That means your 10th person will be free. So that would be your TC credit. You just have to contact groups. We'll get your group agreement. You have that, you accept the group agreement, and then we can sit down and go and come up with a marketing plan, or you can do it on your own, but I'm here for you if you need help. We can set up some cruise nights, but I'm here to help you promote that group and to fill that group. And then you're also going to receive special prices and amenities for that group, which I will get into a little bit later on some of the coming slides. So specifically how they work. So I just mentioned, that we get 1 TC credit for every 10th guest is free. No immediate deposit is required to get that group started. So you come up with your group, we get your group agreement in, and no deposit is needed. You just start selling into that space. Group amenity points are provided with each group, and I have a slide that I'll show you exactly how that works. Committed support from me and the groups department. We're here for you. We want to make this work for you, and we want to take some of that. The title of the webinar was, can it make a difference and can it save you time? Yes, because you put almost as much work in a group as you do just one FIT booking. So you make that booking, multiply it into your group, and that saves you time, not having to go out and find your own 20. You can have others help you, and your group leader will help you with that. Group savings you also get when you set up a group, which I'm going to show you that on a coming slide as well. These are how the tour conductor credits work. Every 10th is free. It's 1 for every 9 paying. The 10th is free for the river cruises. The Duro is a little bit different. It's 1 for the 11th one is going to be free. And then on our ocean products, they vary. So it could be 10th or 11th or 12th even, but those vary based on the itinerary and the ship that it's sailing. We have our guide to group benefits. We have this in a hardcover catalog or flyer that I can get you if you want those, but this QR code will take you to the digital version, and this really lays it all out, our groups program. And it has all the deck plans for each one of these ships are in there. It also explains how the amenity program works, which this is that page, and I want to just kind of explain it to you. I love this because it's, you know, exactly how many amenity points to expect you're going to get for that group based on the sailing, and it doesn't change. So for instance, if you look over here on this chart, the Danube Delights, it tells you here exactly how many amenity points you'll receive, and up here is the month that it's sailing. So for this one, if it's sailing in June and you're on Danube Delights, you're going to get 3 amenity points. So those amenity points, then you look over here and it shows you what you can purchase or what you can use for the group. So you choose the one amenity that everybody in the group will receive. So if you have 3, come over here, you could add an additional $150 savings per person to your group rate. And that's $300 a cabin, y'all. So it's no joke. Some of these amenity points, if you go through this list and you look at the 4 amenity points, that's going to get you some extra savings and your clients some extra savings in that group. That's the page for Emerald. Here's Scenic. Scenic, there's not, as you know, Scenic is all inclusive. There's not a lot of extra to pay for. So usually the onboard credit would be, well, not usually, it would go to the spa because that's really the only thing that they have to pay extra for. So they could take that as a discount, or you could also take it as bonus commission. So that would be up to you. We also can help you with a group flyer. So our itineraries, this is very similar to what the group flyer would look like. This example is Emerald. Of course, we have Scenic as well. They are not pocket size, they are full size. So ignore that little picture there. That's a full size flyer. And then you can just drop your logo and your contact information, and you can update the pricing based on what your group rates are. But those are great to give away at cruise nights or anywhere, even leave stacks of them out in nail salons or anywhere there's a crowd. I would be dropping your flyers for your group to fill that group. Starting commission rate is 15% for groups, so it is higher for groups, but everyone starts at 15%. And then this is just a summary page just to kind of show you your group savings. It's $200 additional savings. That's stacked on top of the promotions, the current promotions that are running. And then on Eclipse, it's actually $500 per person additional. And then here it shows the tour conductor varies from 1 for 9 to 1 to 11, and then the ocean would vary. The steps to setting up your group. First, you're going to send us a group request, and you can send that to me, or you can send it directly to the groups department. I'll send it on to the groups department for you if you'd like me to kind of be your middleman there and help keep it on track. But I'd be happy to do that for you. Then you'll receive your group agreement from the groups department. You'll sign that, and once you get that done, that's when the fun starts, and we start marketing your group, and we start selling it and doing cruise nights or sending out emails, Facebook posts, and I can get you everything you need to help with that. Once you have that group agreement, this is an example of the chart you're going to get. It shows all the categories of staterooms, and then you'll see the current promotions will be listed, which is the 2-for-1 fares going on right now. And then you're going to see if there's any additional saving promotions going on. Your group savings is listed on this example. It's 200 group savings. And then this advisor chose to take the additional group amenities savings, which is another 200. So it kind of just lines it out column by column, and you can see exactly the end price is going to be there in that last column. And then here's the example for Scenic, the same type of little graph there, spreadsheet. I think it's super easy to see, and then you know exactly, no question about what your group rates are. Now, right now we're running 300 per person savings in group instead of the 200, and that's for 2026 sailings. So through the end of March, you can get 2025 rates for your 2026 groups with that extra $300 savings. And then we have this new promotion going on for Scenic Eclipse. These specific sailings, if you sell 5 suites, you get to sail free with the group. So you can host the group for free as the travel agent on only these specific sailings. And those are very aggressively priced as well. So if you think any of those would work for any of your clients, or you feel like you could gather up 5 of your friends to sail on this, you'll be going for free. And I do have a PDF copy of this with those are live links along the left-hand side if you would like. I can email that to you afterwards. This is the contact information for our groups department. And like I said, you can send me, once you know what group you're going to promote, you can send that to me. I can get it for you, or you can contact them directly. And then one last thing I want to talk about just super briefly is charters. So think about when I think of charters, I think of meeting incentive groups, group incentive. A lot of companies will reward their salespeople with a sailing, and if they could charter that ship, that's fabulous for you. But we do have a charter department, so that's who would help you with that, and I can get you in touch with them if you have any companies or any charter ideas. And she's great at closing sales, so she would get on that call and she could sell it for you. You just need to give her the ideas, and she can help you with that. So that takes me to Ian's part, and probably what most of y'all are here for, because this will definitely make your life easier and save you from having to call in and talk to somebody. You can do it all yourself, and this is how easy it is. He's going to show you the quick quote. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen so that he can take over.
Awesome. Thank you, Jill. Again, super excited to be here today and show you guys how much time you can save by using our online platform, ExpressBook. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with you. Make sure it's the right one. Are you all able to see this here? Is that working?
Yes.
Yes, Jill. Okay, perfect.
Yep.
So first thing that I wanted to talk about is where to actually access ExpressBook. So that is a good way to access it is actually on our Travel Advisor Hub on our website. And Jill and I can send this link out afterwards. It's a great link to bookmark. It does have a lot of helpful information. So if you scroll down a little bit, you'll see that it says your Advisor Hub here. And then we have access to ExpressBook by clicking on the link just here. You also have access to our Agent Academy, which is our training platform, access to the trip personalizer. So once you've actually booked a cruise, the trip personalizer will need to be completed before departure. You can access that through ExpressBook or through this quick link here, but I'll talk about that a little bit more later. And then we also have a link to all of our, upcoming webinars and events. So just some helpful info here to bookmark. But for today, we are going to focus on ExpressBook. So to get there, you would just click go to ExpressBook right here. I already have a tab open. And so I will show you all the sort of helpful tips and tricks now. So first of all, this is what it would kind of look like when you first log in. If you have any bookings, they would show up right here underneath the search bar. I don't have any bookings right now, so there's nothing populating there. But if you did, that's where they would show up. Same with quotes. If you've made a quote and you send it to your client and you're just waiting to hear back on if they'd like to move forward or not, that will also show up here under bookings. We also do have a user manual up here on the top. If you have any questions, there are some good FAQs in there. A contact us tab in case you need some help. Trip Personalizer, as I mentioned, is available here. So once the booking is made, you will need to fill that out, or your clients will need to fill that out before their departure. Manage accounts right here. This kind of takes you to the your sort of home for your agency. You'll be able to see your your agency address, contact information, all of that good stuff. But the most important thing here today is that I want to show you guys how to make a quick quote and how quickly it can actually be done. So in order to do that, we just need to click check availability and quote/book. So once we click that, let me know if you're still able to see my screen, Jill, because I know it pops out a window. You can see it? Okay. So it's going to pop out this window here. I'll maximize it. And what I really like to emphasize to focus on is the departure search box right here. So if you or your guests have done some research and they actually have a tour, a specific tour that they would like to go on, they have the cruise tour code. That's wonderful. You can go ahead and put that in here. Most of the time, we don't have that information and we're kind of just looking at inventory, seeing what might be best for our guests. And so you are perfectly fine to leave this box blank. So that's what I will do today. Um, Tour region, though, if you know that they are interested in river cruising or you're looking for river cruising, you can go ahead and filter that. Next, it's going to pop open the options here for you for river cruising for both Scenic and Emerald. Let's say that I want to filter just Europe. I would just click that, and then it populates Europe there for you. If you have a specific offer code, you can put that in here. For example, if you went to a Scenic sponsored event, got an offer code, and it's valid for X number of days, you can put that in here. However, you can also input that later on, and I'll show you where you can do that as well.
You can add Jill 25
You want to
if
add Jill
just so
25?
they, which everyone on this call can use as well, but we'll show you where you can find the what it actually gives you in a minute.
Yeah, so you can go ahead and put that in there, or you can put it in later on. But I'll show you what would happen if you put it in here, and you'll see as we move through the quote. If you know a specific cabin that they want, and you already know the code for that cabin, you can put that in here. But for the sake of this quote, let's say we want to look at all cabins, and then you can also filter through Scenic or Emerald here. Um, for this example, I'm just going to show you both. So it's going to give you all options for both Scenic and Emerald. But let's say that you have talked with your guests and they're first time river cruisers, and you've selected or you suggested the Danube for their first river cruise. If you just want to see options related to the Danube River, you can actually put that in here as well. So the cruise/tour code or keywords. As I mentioned before, if you had the exact tour code, you could put that in there. But let's just say that we want to see results for the Danube. I can just type that in there. Come down here. We always quote per cabin. So I would always just recommend leaving this at 1. You can't change it anyway. And then the vast majority of our rooms are doubles. We do have a few singles, but for quoting purposes, I would always suggest doing 2 guests in one room so you get a double, unless you know, excuse me, that your guest is a single. We do, as I mentioned, have a few singles, but vast majority are doubles. So we'll go ahead and use that. And then once you input all this information here, we can go ahead and hit search. Oh, it's going to ask me if the guest will be using future travel funds from coronavirus. Any affected reservations, some people still haven't used those, so you do just need to click yes or no. So for this example, I'm not right here at the top. I'm going to click no, and then go ahead and hit search. Perfect. Did that screen load for you, Jill? Can you see all these itineraries? Okay, wonderful. So a couple things that I want to explain on this screen. You'll see first that the Scenic logo pops up here right on the top. So that means that all of these different itineraries are for Scenic. And you can scroll down. As you keep going down, then you'll see the Emerald logo. All of these itineraries underneath the Emerald logo are for Emerald cruises. So since I didn't filter just Scenic or Emerald, it's going to give me both brands and all of the options that we have with your search. Next, you can go ahead and pop out each itinerary to kind of get an idea of what's available. So it'll give you the different categories of rooms that are still available. It'll give you the price upgrade for those rooms. If you look up here, it'll let you know when it departs. So Monday, March 24th, 2025. It lasts 8 days. It starts in Budapest and it ends in Munich. The base price for this Gems of the Danube tour is $9,590. We get that number by adding the tour price right here, plus the port charges and taxes right here. You can also see any offers that are applicable to this tour. And this isn't the only place you'll be able to see them, but it does give you a great idea if you want to look at the offers that are available real quick. You just hover over them and it will pop out the terms and conditions for the offer and let you know what it is. So you already know what's combinable with tours just on this first page of the quick quote. You can kind of filter through and see what they are. You'll be able to see if it's available or not. And then the rooms available, once you pop it out by pressing the plus button here, you'll see that for category C, balcony suite, we have 2. Category A, balcony suite, we have 2, and so on. And then the price upgrade is right here. So for the category C, balcony suite, the price would be the base price, $95.90 plus 3,000. I'll go into that a little bit more, and I'll show you how to select your rooms as well. But let's say that you looked at some of these itineraries, you've spoken with your guests, and it does actually work with their time frame to do the Gems of the Danube. Um, Another helpful thing, if you're just looking before even making the quick quote, if you just want to send them an itinerary, it's actually super easy and a very useful tool. All you do is click right here on Gems of the Danube. Jill, is this showing for you? Okay. You click on Gems of the Danube. It will then open a separate tab. I'll make it bigger for you. And it's actually going to have the itinerary where it starts and where it ends here on a map. So you can see day 1 starts in Budapest. So you know you're starting here. And then it's going to give you the itinerary for each day of the cruise. You're also going to see, since this is Scenic, all of our free choice activities are included. So it's going to give you your options. And then your guests will be able to review these and say which free choice activities they would like to include on their cruise. And then you can actually pre-book the majority of those as well. But this is just a great way to see exactly what the itinerary looks like, which cities you'll be stopping at on which days, how much time you'll have there, and the free choice activities available to them, as well as a nice map so you can go ahead and send this to your clients. You can download this as a PDF, send it in an email, very easy, even before you do the quote. And this itinerary is available all the way throughout the quoting process in case you forget some of the stops that you make along the way or some of the free choice activities that are available to you along the duration of the cruise. But anyway, let's say that you looked at the itinerary and you reviewed it with your guests and they would like to receive a quote on that. So all you do is click the bubble right here next to Gems of the Danube. Once you click the bubble, we're going to go ahead and hit quick quote. We're not hitting book tour. So quick quote. Something important that I want to mention, when you're making a quick quote, you're not reserving any space on board. This is solely for the purpose of getting pricing and availability to be able to send back to your guests and say, these are the prices, this is all that's included. If you'd like to book this, let me know, and I can convert this into a booking. Once you convert the quick quote to a booking, obviously you will be holding space on board, but I do just want to point out when you're doing this process, you're not holding space on board. So it's going to bring you to this guest details page. You don't actually need to fill anything out here for a quick quote. If it was a booking, you would need to, but since we're just doing a quick quote, we can go ahead and bypass this step. Something I just want to point out on the left here that you'll always have access to throughout the quote. Um, You'll have the date that it departs, March 24th, the date that it returns, March 31st, and then the itinerary, as I mentioned, is just here on the left-hand side. So if you want a refresher, you want to look at it again, go ahead and click View Itinerary, and it'll pop open the tab that I showed you before. But let's continue. So we'll go ahead and hit Next since we're just doing a quick quote and we don't want to input all of the guest details to save us some time. Next, it's going to bring a visual of the ship. Okay, so it's going to show you exactly which rooms are available, which rooms are not available, and the cost to upgrade to those rooms. The rooms that are available are the ones with numbers on them. So if they have no numbers, that means that they're already booked. You cannot book those. However, it looks like 219 is available. This is a balcony suite. And when you click it, it actually brings up a visual of the room so you can kind of get an idea of what it is, of how it is laid out. You can kind of play around with this, click on different ones to see, the layouts of the different rooms. Here's the Royal Owner's Suite. A lot bigger visual here. You can go over here to the balcony suite. And so let's just say that you have looked at this with your clients or they've let you know they would like the the balcony suite 219. Once that's done, look up here and you're able to see the base price of the tour, 95.90, and then you're able to see the cost for the cabin upgrade for this specific one. You can see when you click on a different category, it actually changes. But let's just say you and your clients have selected cabin 219, the balcony suite. Also note, all prices are the total in US dollars per passenger. Important to note there at the bottom. So once you've selected the suite that you'd like, you can go ahead and hit Next. This is a fun page. So this is where the promotions all live. As I mentioned, if you hovered over them at the beginning, you are able to see which promotions apply to this booking. However, when you get to this page, this is when you're actually able to apply them to the booking. So what I would recommend doing is definitely read the terms of in conditions of each promotion and see if they will be, doable for your customers. Because you can see here the February flash sale, 2-for-1 fares. It's a bonus savings of over $1,000, but there's a deposit due at the time of booking plus pay in full required. And then all the terms and conditions are laid out here for you. So if your guests don't want to pay in full or deposit due at the time of booking, I would recommend not doing that. However, let's go ahead and click through some. This is actually a great example because there are a lot of promotions that apply to this sailing. And so when you click on them, let's say I want the most savings possible. I see that the best available fare is the 2-for-1 fare plus pay in full savings, a savings of over $1,700. Let's go ahead and check this box. Once you do this, you're able to see which promotions it is combinable with and which it is not combinable with. So you see when I click this box, some of these other ones gray out here. That means that I can't combine this promotion with any of the ones that have been grayed out. However, you can see that some of them are still open. So next, I see that the February flash sale savings is combinable. I've read the terms and conditions, and that would work with my clients. And it's an additional savings of $875. So I want to combine that with this. We're going to go ahead and check that box. You can see that most of them are still grayed out except for this one, the Scenic Travel Show, $75 per person if used within 21 days of a show. That is actually the code that we put in at the very beginning of the booking. You can see down here, Jill 25 is input at the bottom here. That is linked to this promotion here, the Scenic Travel Show, $75 per person if used within 21 days of the show. So this is an additional $75 per person savings. Of course, I want to combine that as well. Lastly, we do see that we have the complimentary flexible booking plan down here at the bottom. This is just in case, we're offering you flexibility in case any travel arrangements change or travel plans change. We want to be flexible with you, and it's free to add on. So I would always encourage adding that on. Once you've done that, you're able to see that these are all the possible combinations here. And you can kind of play around with it to see the best savings that you can get. But in this case, this is the best savings that you can get, as I chose the options that added up to the most amount of money off of the booking. Next, we are going to go ahead and continue with the quote with all of the promotions and discounts applied. Not quite sure why it gave me that, but I'm going to go ahead and reselect it and see if it'll let me continue. Perfect. Okay, so it let me continue, and then it brings you to a booking advice here. This is a document that you can send directly to your clients. They'd be able to look at it and see all of the details of the quick quote, which could then be converted to a booking. So you can see the price breakdown here. You can see the different discounts that you're getting. So for example, the February flash sale savings, $875 off per person, total over $1,700 off. When all of the discounts are added up, you can see that the booking total for the cabin, $8,690. You can also see, if you look down a little bit further, when a deposit is due. So since I did select the promotion that has the deposit due at the time of booking, there is a deposit due today. You can see when final payment is due. I selected the pay in full option, so that is also due today. You can see the outstanding balance since I haven't paid anything, $8,690. But again, this is just a quick quote. We have not converted this to a booking, so there's no need to worry about having to pay anything at this moment. When you send this to your clients, it is important that they are able to see all of the discounts here and the price breakdown. But even more important is some important travel notes down here, down below. So you can scroll down, read those, and go over those with your clients. Another thing that I wanted to point out here is that if you wanted to add any pre or post accommodation options, you can also do that. So that would just be up here in the top right-hand corner where it says pre-post options. Go ahead and click on that. And if you break out the pre-tour accommodation in Budapest by clicking the plus, it wants you to select the number of nights. So let's just say that they want to get there a day earlier. They just want to do 1 night of pre-tour accommodation in Budapest. It tells you that the hotel that we have that accommodation at, so the Marriott Hotel Budapest, it's a deluxe room and it includes breakfast. It's estimated to be $135. This is the price that it typically goes for. If um, the amount of space in the hotel is a little bit tighter, that's when it says on request. We will then reach out to the hotel to confirm that. And then if the price is any different, it will show up on the booking advice and we will notify you. However, this is the price that it typically is, $135. The post-tour accommodation in Munich, let's say that you want to do 1 night in Munich as well. It tells you the hotel Bayerischer Hof Munich. It's a standard room and it includes breakfast, 265 USD. Let's go ahead and select that. Once we've selected that, we're able to move forward and hit next. And then it will actually bring you to the Scenic free choice options. So remember how I showed you the itinerary earlier, and all of the free choice options were listed for certain days throughout the tour. So in Budapest on the 25th, you're able to see the different free choice options that we have for that day. And let's say that you reviewed the itinerary with your guests and they both really wanted to do the guided hike of Buddha side. You can see that there are 2+ seats available. And then let's say that you wanted to do Bratislava on the 26th, and your clients really wanted to do the wines of Slovakia. You can go ahead and put them in there. You can see that there are now 2 seats available. So that means, you notice how the plus goes away. That means that your clients are safely booked into this tour, but there are only 2 seats left. So it is real live booking inventory. Next, Vienna on the 27th. Let's say that they want to do the guided cycling tour. Once we've selected their free choice options, we can go ahead and hit next. Of course, if they don't want to do the free choice, that's totally fine. It's not required. They don't have to. But I would always recommend selecting the free choice as early as you can because sometimes they do fill up quickly. And so if you're able to include that in the quick quote before you send it to them, they're able to see sort of what their entire itinerary will look like. Now I want to show you how the quick quote has changed. You can see that it's gotten a little bit longer because it takes into account the things that we just added on. So it has the guided hike of Buda side, the wines of Slovakia, the guided cycling tour of Danube Island.
Can I just say one
Love it.
quick thing about those excursions, just because I don't want there to be confusion? Not every excursion that we offer in the free choice requires advanced reservations. So I don't want you to think that that's all the excursions they get are just 3, because there's excursion choices in each stop, but those are only the ones that have limited availability. So if they have to cap it at a certain number, those are the ones that your clients will have to make the reservations for ahead of time. Otherwise, they just make the choice once they're on board, and there's room for everybody. Just wanted to
That's
throw that in.
that's a great point. So once we have selected, so yeah, not all the free choice tours you need to choose beforehand, but for some of the more popular ones, we do recommend that you do it beforehand, just so they're able to go on the tours that they'd like. But I did want to point out, you can see that for the 3 tours that we added here, it's no extra cost since it's included with Scenic, so nil just means 0. And then you're actually able to see the hotels that were added on for the pre and post night, along with the cost per person. Here's the total. And then you can see that the price has been updated to $9,490. That includes the prices of the hotels. I also just wanted to mention you can book air through Scenic. It takes a little bit longer, so I'm not going to go through that process now. But you could always change flights, add flights, or you can contact our reservations if you would like us to book flights for you. Next is you can just email documents directly from here to your clients. So email documents, put in their email, and then go ahead and hit send email. You can also download as a PDF and send that PDF off to them, whichever one you prefer. After that is finished and they receive the quote, let's say that you've already exited out of this at this point because you've sent them the quote. Are you still able to see my screen here, Jill? Okay. Once you've done that, you're able to see actually the quote that you've been working on. So this is the one that I just made and that I've just sent to my guests. Let's say that they actually were like, okay, this looks great. We want to go ahead and move on this. Let's book this. You can come back in here to your quote, open it up, and make booking. When you go to make the booking, I'm not going to go through this whole process because it is a little bit longer and I know we have limited time, but it's going to give you all of the details here again. This is basically the details that were on the bottom of the quick quote for your clients to go through and just some important information for you to know, as well as cancellation penalties, etc. Once this has been, read and reviewed, you can go ahead and hit next. And this is the section where you would put in all of your clients' details, first name, last name, passport numbers, their addresses, everything like that would go in here. So I'm not going to go through this process because it will take a little bit longer than we have today. But it is very straightforward. Essentially, from here on, you've selected everything that you're for the tour that your clients will be going on. And now we just need their information to be able to book them into the tour. The last thing that I wanted to mention is that once you've made the booking, the trip personalizer is something that does, as I mentioned, does need to be completed before the clients depart on their tour. That is accessible right here, as I mentioned. Once you complete this, once you go through all of these steps, selecting flights if necessary, confirming emergency contact details, and then you finally place the booking, the trip personalizer will pop up here on the left-hand side. You can then click through that and fill that out. Things in the trip personalizer that need to be filled out are passport details. If your clients hadn't selected the Scenic free choice options yet, they can select them in the trip personalizer. And just some important information and details that need to be submitted and reviewed before they go on their cruise. But this is how you make a quick quote. And I hope that it was helpful. I hope that you can see how it will save you time as opposed to calling in. As I mentioned, the quick quote's already been done. This is just converting it into a booking, but that's more time than we have for today. So I'm going to go ahead and exit out of this, and I'm going to pass it back over to Jill.
Thank you. And that is really, actually, let's go back to here. That's the end of our presentation, but thank you so much for listening today. And I'm going to go to the last page. There is our contact information. Feel free to reach out if you have any questions with anything, or if you run into any little road bumps when you're in ExpressBook, because we can walk you through. But really, once you get in there and start playing with and practicing it, definitely saves your time. You can see everything right there at a glance. You can get those itineraries directly to your client straight away. But it really will save you time. So don't be afraid of it. Just get in there and play with it and you'll do great. But let us know if you have any questions. And thanks for being here today. And I hope you all have a great rest of your day. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Thank you.